Welcome to the Fall Off Part 2. Um, I'm Christian,
And I'm Aisha.
and this is us. I had to look up. This is us in real life.
You don't know the name of our podcast?
It's been a while. This is us in real life, episode 6, technically, right? So 006, episode 6. This is a follow up to
The Fall Off.
the Fall Off Part 1, where we talked about why we fell off the podcast, what things were going on in our life, mainly our struggles with fertility. And in this episode, we will be diving a little bit more into it and kind of giving you all some more insights into how it's affected us in our marriage and just everything around that. So if you haven't watched the first episode, go back and watch that one. And then join us after you watch that one. You can watch this one.
Yes. Before we get deep into this episode, we do want to say that if you are in a journey of infertility, if you've experienced loss, or you're in a season that feels like it's not going as you would like it to go, please know that you're not alone. I know for us, this has been a challenging season. So we definitely understand that this is a hard listen. It is a hard episode for us to record. Not gonna make any promises that there will not be any tears shed, because there definitely probably will be. There will be some tears shed. So just know that you're not alone. And yeah, get into it.
Okay. All right. So let's start. So this was kind of, again, going back to part 1 and why we fell off, right? As we were building out this episode and kind of going back through our timeline of our infertility journey, right? The last episode we dropped was July 9th. So that was the last thing I saw as we were in Jamaica having a great time on our anniversary. A week or so after Jamaica, had the surgery, and then we had follow-up to the surgery, right? Basically, we were kind of told, like, hey, the chances of you all conceiving are not very good right now.
It was a gut-wrenching appointment, or it was just hard to hear, because, and we'll get into it as we get further into the episode, but just, going to the doctor and, having these appointments, having these procedures, and like there's a 50-50 chance of like this working or not working. And so of course we're hopeful, we're believers, we're trusting God, but like time after time hearing like, oh, actually, like we did everything, but X, Y, and Z happened. And then on that particular appointment, it was just like the final, like the nail in the coffin that was like, okay, we've done this. However, like Christian said, the chances of y'all conceiving naturally, it's just, I'm not going to say it's not there, but it's very...
Right. We were told. We're going to just talk about what we were told. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nugget. We were told that it was,
We had basically like three, 4 options.
Right.
So the first option was to have another major surgery, and then come back every week for in-office procedures. Option 2 was just to go ahead and start the process of IVF and a surrogate, because my uterus is not a viable home for a embryo, for a baby. Option 3 was to get a second opinion, and then option 4 was to just chill out and then figure out when we wanted to make the decision between option 1, 2, and 3.
The option 4 was do nothing.
Do nothing, yeah.
And that's actually the option we chose, right? To do nothing, because at that time we had been through a lot of surgeries, a lot of doctor appointments, and so mentally we were just tired, especially Maisha, right? Like, we wanted to give her body a chance, some time to heal, her mind time to heal. We just said, you know what, we're gonna take a step back. At that point too, like, God had already told me that, this is, time to stop, right? Like, in terms of, I didn't have any confirmation that one of those options was an option that was for us. Excuse me. And so, yeah, like, doing nothing felt like actually the right thing. Like, hey, just take a break, take a pause, take a step back, allow time to pass, allow our minds and our bodies to heal and to, rethink, and we'll we'll come back to it. It was just, and it was the beginning of the school year, so we knew like Mike was going to start back working, and so it's like, nah, like school's starting back soon, like blah blah blah. So we just decided to take a break from it. Now, obviously, everything we're saying, like, hey, we got to explain some things, right? So let's now go back because this obviously did not happen overnight, right? So let's do a little rewind here, and we'll go way back to
2023.
right, 2013.
2013.
Sorry, not
Two,
2023.
I was not trying to conceive in 2013.
We were not. We were not trying to conceive. Oh gosh. All right.
That's a long time.
So, yeah, like going back to part one. If you missed part one, go watch part one. Talk a lot about like our plans and how we had these things that we want to do, right? So we bought a new house, closing on the house, and we were going to try to conceive. And actually, so we knew that we were Nugget. Thank you. We knew that we had the house already, whatever. We were so excited about that. And we wanted to host Christmas at the house. It was gonna be like a mixture between Christmas and like what they call when you get a new house?
Housewarming.
The housewarming all in one. But in our minds, we was like, it's gonna be housewarming, it's gonna be Christmas, and it's gonna be us revealing that we're pregnant all in one. Like we just had this
pregnancy announcement.
Right.
But pause. So
Okay.
before we got to the house, we were very adamant that January to the beginning, like end of July, we didn't want to get pregnant because we were at your parents' house.
Right.
I was like, Christian, I will not be pregnant at your mama house and be driving to work. Like it just
Right. It wasn't
we were
gonna
just
work.
like, we are not.
We also talked about living at my parents' house. So go back and watch the episode.
Watch that too, because
I forgot which episode it was, but yeah. Basically, it was, since we're going back there, it was just, we can save money to pay for the house that we're in now, but go ahead.
Yes. So that was the backstory. So yes, August, when we closed, we were like, okay, and Christian alluded to this in part one of this, consummating the house or whatever. So we were like, okay, August, that's like the 8th month. That gives us like 4 months to be trying. And then by Christmas, we're going to have my family and your family. It's going to be the whole posse over here. And we're going to have the welcome to our house, Christmas. Aisha going to cook everything. And surprise, we're expecting. That was our plan. And
that's what our vision was. That's what we thought was going to happen. And yeah, so it didn't go that way, right?
At all.
We had all the apps and all the stuff, the ovulating thing and everything. We was, trying to time it perfectly and all that jazz. And then, we would go, buy the pregnancy test, and we would check and not pregnant. So it was just, it's a lot. And then like on top of that, now like Christmas, like especially last Christmas, so Christmas 2025 was really tough for us, right?
Yeah.
So now, because we had those, plans, I've been making plans. Sorry. We had those plans. And we thought things would be that way, right? This goes back to my confession from part one about control, right? Having things go the way that you planned them to. And so now Christmas has kind of become a tough spot for us.
And Christmas is my favorite.
Right, me too. I love, we have our traditions. We watch The Grinch, and we have our Christmas tree, and go see family, all that jazz.
I go to the store the day after Christmas so I can get the decorations for the next year.
Mm-hmm. And last year she got a lot of stuff, and this year, not this year, but 2025. So last year we didn't decorate the house at all.
The most I had was this blanket that I bought from TJ Maxx. That's literally the only Christmas decorations we had.
And we were trying too. Like it was like, we gonna do it on this weekend, and weekend would come, and it's like a day that we had our niece, but that weekend she may have been with her mom or her grandmother or whatever. All right, bet we have the weekend to ourselves. We can really just do it, and we would just sit there and just not, be in the mood to do it.
I wasn't hounding Christian about it at all. And what I thought about, like, Christmas 2025, we didn't put up any decorations.
Mm-hmm.
But Christmas 2024, we put up decorations, but I was adamant that I didn't want to be with anybody
Right, right, yeah,
for the holidays. Like, I'm
right,
like, you can do what you want to do, but
right. That year you was, I remember, yeah,
I was
good point.
anti-Thanksgiving, anti-Christmas gatherings. Like, me, my husband, my cat. Like, I just
Yeah,
was not in the space.
that's because again, this journey goes back, to 2023, right? So yeah, I mean, Christmas kind of changed for us. Now, speaking of, going back, right? So let's just talk about with a little bit more detail around the medical piece of all of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
uh,
want me to go into it? And you,
I'm gonna try. It's
okay,
just, take over for the 9-9 if I.
okay, I'll take over.
So 2023, that's when we started our journey. We are now in March of 2026. And so between July of 2024 and June of 2025, I had 5 major surgeries.
Yes, yes. Let's even before that, before
Well,
the
yeah,
surgeries,
yeah, before surgery, I had a number of doctor's appointments to even see what was going
right?
on.
Because Maisha, I remember we were gonna start trying. I got my checkups. It's like, hey, make sure you good. She got some like some
The
genetics, all that type
genetic
of stuff.
stuff testing.
And yeah, like when we didn't conceive, like after the first, however long it was, Maisha was like, hey, something's off. Like something's not right. And
Because we
so,
was tracking,
right, we was set.
getting
We
up in the
was
middle of the night. Christian, it's like your first P need to be on this ovulation stick because we only got this amount of days. We had the app. He had the app. Like it was
it was
it was
a
a
lot of
lot.
pressure on
And
ourselves
if
too.
those of you who have been trying to get pregnant, it's not as easy as they make it seem. It's very difficult. Like, and they say like, don't try. You just have to have fun. Okay, we was having a lot of fun, and it still
Nah, it
wasn't
wasn't always
happening.
fun though, right? You was like, okay, this is like a
Well,
task.
in the beginning, we were just,
Oh yeah, yeah,
before
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
start
Before we start
tracking
really,
it and stuff, like
right,
we was
right.
having fun, y'all. And I'm like, surely, surely.
So yeah, that's so when Maisha, everything we read online was like, oh, just wait, like give it like a year or whatever. Maisha was like, no, I'm going to get checked up, and that's when we found out about fibroids.
Well, I knew I had the fibroids before,
Back in what this was, we was back in the States, so this is
maybe like 2021, because my dad was in the hospital.
2021. So at the time, they were very small, right? And so it really didn't hit us that those could have been a problem. But like Maisha just knew like, okay, I'm not waiting this long. I'm gonna go to the doctor and see what's going on. And so yeah, you found out that your fibroids had gotten larger.
Yeah, so I went to the doctor. This would have to be like March of 2024. And I remember like the doctor like doing the exam and she was like, like, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, what? And so she was like, I gotta make a call or whatever. And so with that, I automatically like knew like something ain't right. Like I knew something wasn't right, but like having her to like stop and then go and like get an opinion. And so from there, that was probably like March. She had to refer me out. And so I had to go to another doctor. I had to get like
All the stuff,
all
right?
the
Yeah.
stuff.
Um. Yeah. So that happened, right? And so the going back to your point about the surgeries, right? This is when the surgery process started. So the plan or the diagnosis that we receive, okay, fibroids are in your uterus, obviously can't conceive with something blocking, whatever. Okay,
And the
cool.
size of them were
Right.
ginormous.
Ginormous is not what they said, but they were they were big. And so yeah, Maisha actually has, I don't know if you mind me sharing this, but has history,
Yeah, I have
family history
family history of
right.
fibroids. All the women on my maternal side
Yeah.
have had fibroid issues.
And a lot of black women deal with fibroids too. Like that was something that was surprising for me. I was like, well, why weren't it's a thing, and why would I know about this basically? But like it's a thing. Like a lot of women experience, fibroids. It just depends on like my mom. She experienced it as well, but at that time she had already had it, so it didn't have any effect on her from a fertility standpoint. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. So yeah, fibroids, right?
Yeah, so
So
the initial surgery was July of 2024, and we were told that it needed to be done in
two parts, right?
two parts because of the size of the fibroids in my uterus. So, just because of regulations, how long they can be in there, fluids, all of that stuff, it had to be broken into two parts. So I had one surgery, and then 2 weeks later, I had the second part of the surgery. And those surgeries were to remove the fibroids from my uterus, which was impacting
Our fertility,
our fertility.
right? And so that was a big step for us, right? Like, and at that point in our marriage, we haven't had any major like medical things going on in our that health things or anything like that. So this surgery was one, it's a big one. Like, I had to sign these papers and say, hey, this could happen. I'm like, bro, this is nuts. But we were assured that again, this is not new, right? People have had these surgeries to remove fibroids all the time. So yeah, you know what? Let's do it. We both want to conceive. We both don't want to, not do everything that we believe we can do, and then in the future have regret, like, oh, we didn't even try our hardest, right? So yeah, we went with the two surgeries, 1 and 2, and then this is kind of when things took a turn, right? So after that second surgery, did I follow up? I'll let you take over from there. Like, what happened after we followed up?
So we followed up with her. She referred us to get some more tests. And then found out that I was diagnosed with something that's called Asherman's syndrome, in which it's
Basically, scar
scar
tissue.
tissue. So like basically where the fibroids were cut out, they created scar tissue. So that my body was doing what it's supposed to do, but it was like over correcting itself. And so when that happens inside of the uterus, the scar tissue forms like thick layers, and it prevents things from entering or exiting. So
Right,
that's the
basically the walls of the uterus stick to each other, to themselves, I should say. Right, and so like Mike should say, things can't get in, things can't get out, and so that's what has been basically causing us to not be able to conceive. And so that was the first surgery and the second surgery, right? So like Maisha said, she had 5 surgeries. So from July 2024 through June 2025, she had 5 surgeries. So that was surgeries 1 and 2. And let's talk about 3, 4, and 5.
So we were referred out to a specialist after we got the diagnosis. And surgery 3 was December, 4 was January, 5 was June. And each of those surgeries was to remove the scar tissue, but after each surgery, it kept coming back. And so surgery 3 came back, surgery 4 came back, surgery 5.
Came back, right? And so that kind of brings us back to um brings us back to the conversation we had with this same physician. Like, okay, we've tried 3 times now, basically, to remove, and things happen, in between those 3 surgeries as well. Like, they found other fibroids that had to be removed as well. So
In office stuff.
right, and so it's like basically, again, like Maisha explained, like her body is overcorrecting itself, like it's healing almost too well, like it's trying to, it's responding
Supersonic.
to what it's supposed to do, but in its response, it's basically creating this extra tissue inside of her uterus. So yeah, that was surgeries 3, 4, and 5. They were all designed to remove the scar tissue, but the scar tissue kept coming back, and like that's really where the kind of pain and
Disappointment.
disappointment and the exhaustion, the frustration comes from. It's like, all right, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna go to this hospital. We're gonna have all these different, doctor appointments in between, you know, it's everything. Taking off work, having to explain that sometimes to my, manager or whatever. Maisha, same thing at school. People worried about us, and it's like it's just again, and also because it was so many in a short amount of time, like a year for 5 surgeries, it's like that's a lot,
It was, yeah,
right? And so
11 months, really.
right, so Yeah, that was most of what kind of caused us to have, this emotional and this mental toll on us, which we can kind of get into next. But at what point, like, do you think that we started feeling like, okay, this is going to be a long road, like a longer road than we had, I guess, thought?
When we first started, no. I think like for me, knowing that like I have this diagnosis, I've never heard of it. Like I have, a best friend who's in the medical field. She had never heard of it. Like I'm just like, what the heck is this? And so going to the doctor, you know, appointment after appointment and like just feeling like hopeless. I'm like, is it? And I know I used to tell you all the time, and you used to get on me, like, what's wrong with me? Like, something's wrong with me. Like, I feel like an alien. Like, it's my fault, things like that. And so it just felt like we weren't ever going to get to an answer because every time we went to the doctor, I'm like, okay, I'm hopeful. I done prayed, Lord, give me good news. You know what we desire. And then it's like, well, actually, this.
Right. Actually, no, it's not time yet. Um, yeah, man. I think, oh, man, for me, I think it was actually the fourth surgery. So I remember they called me. Oh, that was tough. They called me midway through the surgery, and I had never gotten a call like during the surgery. So this is kind of I guess the husband side of things, right? So Maisha is the one, getting poked and prodded. She's the one that has to go to these appointments. I go with her, but still, she's the one actually getting the surgery done. And so she gets anesthesia, she goes to sleep, she goes down there, she wakes up, she's done. But I don't get anesthesia while she's in the back. And so surgeries, hour and a half, whatever time is, I'm just sitting in the waiting room, just praying for the best, right? And on that day, they called me and like, "Hey, is Mr. Reynolds here?" I'm like, what the what?" Like, "Yeah, the doctor's on the phone. She wants to talk to you." Like, "What?" "We see another fibroid. We want to take it out." I'm just like, "No." Like, Maisha's, I know my wife. She's done with it. Like, let's just stop. Like, and so yeah, I think for me, that's when I knew it was gonna be. It was gonna be a longer journey than what, and that was 4, right?
In
And
January, yeah.
right, and that's still at that point the journey was already long. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was a lot. Um,
And then for me, like, because I'm so up until this point, I never really missed. I'm thinking about like just work, like us just powering through or whatever, like me just powering through, and like you were going at my speed. And so because I had never really missed a lot of work, I would have these surgeries on like Thursday, Friday, and go back to work on Monday. Like physically I was cleared to go, like per the doctor. Like physically I was cleared to go to work, but like mentally and emotionally like not so much. But because like I really love my career, like I don't like to miss work, like I just put this face on, like all this adversity is going on inside, but like no one knows what's going on. Like I can really mask it really well. Um like very well. It's scary too. So for me, I was just kind of like going with the motions or whatever. And also because I knew like this was something that I would desire to be a mom, Christian desire to be a dad. Like we wanted to be parents. I'm like, okay, let's keep going because the more we do it, the faster or the closer we get to the end journey of what we
mhm.
want. And so much of the rest of 2024, I was, floating. Like
Yeah,
it's
she's
it's
yeah,
very it's very scary.
definitely floating,
It's very scary, like, how I can function, but still, like,
not function. So
not fun like, I yeah.
yeah, you were functioning in terms of like being able to go to work, but
I was like a robot. I felt like a robot, just
yeah.
going with the motions.
hmm And so obviously, not obviously, but I believe we spoke about you being in therapy on
Oh,
this
yeah.
podcast before.
I've been in I'm a
You're a
strong
strong
advocate
advocate,
for
right?
therapy. Yeah, so during these hospital visits, these doctor's visits, like, of course, I was seeing my therapist, and I remember in it was after the last one in January. I had a therapy appointment after the January surgery, and she was like, Maisha, I said, yes. She was like, I think it's time for you to like stop. Like you need to rest. I said, I do rest. And she was like, no, it's not a question. Like she basically told me that I was gonna take a leave of absence from work. And I was just like, what? You want me to miss work? Like what? And I was just freaking out about that. And then pulled Christian into the session. I remember her having conversations with you, just asking you like how I was, and just yeah. She asked me these questions, and she asked me these questions on a rating scale, and she was like, you know, she had been wanting to diagnose me since December, but she was just kind of like letting me keep going, or like just to see how much I was going to turn it around. And so when I had an appointment in, I think it was the beginning of, whenever it was, when I had an appointment with her, she was like, yeah, I've been watching you since December. Like you're like major depressed. So it's major depressive disorder. And so she was like, yeah, you're going on leave. You're taking a leave of absence. You need to get the paperwork. And I fought her tooth and nail. She wanted me to take 6 weeks. I said, you're absolutely out of your mind. You're absolutely out of your mind.
She really was just setting you up because she knew you was going to go for 6 weeks. She was just trying to start high and bring you back down.
So we agreed on 4 weeks. And so, yeah, between the time that I had a therapy appointment and the time I went off for work, it was probably like a 2-week span. And it was scary. It was very scary because it was different. Like I just felt like,
I remember you telling me you felt like you were letting people down, like you weren't.
yeah.
And so this kind of leads me into this next point, right, about you and your exceptional work as a school counselor, and how, you know, yeah, you felt like if you take this leave of absence, you felt like you were letting people down, you weren't doing your job, whatever. But also thinking more about like you saying how you mask it so well with, being able to function, but even, being hurt inside. Um, Even so, Maisha, 2024 school counselor, Georgia School Counselor of the Year. And, we were celebrating here at the house. We had a celebration party here, whatever. The day before the party was when we had that virtual meeting with our first physician, doctor, and when we found out about the scar tissue.
Yep,
right?
That's when I was diagnosed with Asherman.
Right. And so, again, like Maisha said, we got referred out, blah, blah, blah. But like, I remember, finding that out and how much hurt that was. And, again, Maisha, when we have these doctor visits, Maisha would just blank out, right? Not like, spaz out, but like she just goes like
a blackout,
like blue screen windows, blue screen, right? And so, again, we're married. That's where help comes in. I'm super, in tune. I know what's going on. I'm asking the questions. Even though I'm not writing notes down like Maisha does, I just have it all up here, right? But still, yeah, like I remember like how hurtful that was for you. And then, next day, family over, friends over, coworkers over, we having a party.
It was a full house.
Right, full house celebrating Maisha as a Georgia School Counselor of the Year. And so, the same time when, you're celebrating life and celebrating doing something amazing, at the same time, you can be having, so that's publicly, but privately, you experience.
And no one knew.
Right.
No one knew. Me, you, my mama, and I think my best friend. That's it.
Yeah.
And so, like, had you seen me at the party, like, I'm dancing, karaoke. Like, I made the sides for the party. Yeah. Like, I made all the sides. I made all the sides. Like, you would think that everything was Gucci over here. And your girl was through.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a lot on us. Speaking of us, right, let's talk about marriage, and like how this has affected us in our union, right?
Surprisingly, I'm surprised I got through that.
Yeah. Oh, you got through? No tears have been shed so far? So.
Yet. Just eye watering those.
Sorry, I'm touching the microphone. How do you want to talk about this? I mean, so many things, right?
I just feel so heavy.
Go ahead.
Oh gosh. So how, of course, like this is a lot, and of course we're giving y'all like the Cliff Notes version of it, and like we're on the other side. Our journey is not complete, but we're on the other side, and so of course this impacted me. It impacted Christian. It impacted us. It impacted our marriage, and so I think because it was new to us, this is something that neither of us have experienced. It was just like you don't know what you don't know. And so a lot of times like I felt alone because I'm like I don't know anybody that's gone like I don't have any friends or family members that have gone through this, but also like I don't know how I'm feeling, or like I know I'm sad or I know I'm mad or frustrated, but like not knowing how to put those feelings into words to say what I'm feeling or what I need was very difficult for me. And so I don't have anybody that's experienced this exact experience. So I just really felt alone in it. And then the person that is with me 24/7, like, I'm like, he doesn't like he will never understand like how it is. Like Christian's very optimistic. Like I can be a pessimist sometimes. Like Christian will see the good in everything. And I'm just like, well, what about like I'm seeing the negatives or whatever. And so it was very difficult for us to navigate it because Christian was like, well, they said that this could happen next or whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant yet. I still got the scar tissue. Like, what the heck is going on? And
Mm.
so that created some tension between us because Christian would just be like, well, okay, well, I'm not gonna say anything at all. And that made me feel even more alone because I'm like, I just feel like I'm by myself. Like I'm sharing when I do have the words, I'm telling you how I'm feeling. But then when I ask you how you're feeling, I'm fine. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm like,
No, that's not.
that was my
But wait,
perception.
so let me step in here. So yes, optimism. I have a lot of optimism around things, right? Because I'm trying to do what I know how to do, right? So going back to your therapist and how you brought me into that session, another thing we talked about, was the thing I was struggling with about like not knowing what to say, right? Because the things I do say, which is, trying to be positive, giving, positivity was being rejected basically. Like Maisha was not in a space to be positive. And her therapist explained that to me. If Maisha's in a place where she's, having these feelings and I just come in with the positivity, it's like, well, you're at 100 and she's at, 30, like that's not gonna work. And but I also explained to her that I don't know what to say. Like if I can't say this, then like what am I supposed to say? Like what am I supposed to do? And so I'll really just not say anything. So for example, she'll like Maisha will be texting me about whatever, about how she's feeling, whatever. And my immediate response, and I think this kind of goes back to, me and wanting to fix things and solutions, is like, some positive thing. And then it's like, you know what? She's not really in the mood for that, then cool. I'm gonna just heart it. I'm gonna just heart the
Well, that
message.
pissed me off
I'm gonna just thumbs it up or something like because
to
anything
acknowledge that you saw it, but that
right.
just pissed me off.
Yeah, because anything else I was saying was just like making you mad too. So it's like, well, I'm just not gonna say nothing. Like because there's nothing I can say clearly to this. So like what do you want from me? And that was the
I
frustration.
want you to feel what I feel.
That's the thing. I'm not gonna feel what you feel. Do have feelings, right? But my feelings are just different from your feelings, and so that was a struggle at first until we kind of got into this space of like it's okay. It's okay to not have the words. It's okay to not know what to say. It's okay to not have all the answers because we just didn't. And it's okay that you're feeling sad and I'm not, or I'm feeling sad and you're not. Like it's okay that to just be right. Allow us ourselves to be human beings. Just be in whatever the state that is. Like just be in that, and it's okay in this season of our lives. So that was a very hard lesson that we had to learn. We were doing the things. We were going for walks, right? And so we
I
were
was doing all the things that
doing these walks and
trying to exercise.
on these walks we're talking and I'm giving all the positive. Well, and also it's a perspective thing too. Like a great example would be when um, the whole thing about our chances of conceiving. I, maybe it wasn't our chances of conceiving. It was some kind of percentage around like what percentage. Oh, I think the question Maisha asked was like what percentage, and she asked this to the Asherman syndrome specialist, like what percentage of patients are able to, from your experience, are able to conceive after going through this. And I think she said like, yeah, so it was actually 60%, right? Or whatever the percentage was. Again, it's kind of that half glass empty, half glass full type deal where what Maisha heard was, 40% of people who deal with this aren't able to conceive. What I heard was 60% of the people who deal with this are able to conceive, right? And so where again I'm having a more positive outlook on things than Maisha is, and she's just like, not. And again, it's okay, right? Because I'm not the one experiencing what she's experiencing. And this is it kind of goes back to I think I said this earlier. I don't know if I did or not. All starting to get mixed together. But it's idea of like learning more about my spouse in this journey, right? And and I should tell y'all like I do all the research. Like before y'all touch my wife, I need to know what this surgery is, how it's performed. I need the paperwork. I'm chat GPT, I'm Googling, I'm looking at the studies behind, this and that. I'm doing all the stuff. Right. And so but in that, like, it's like, bro, like women, like y'all go through and then obviously this is a special case. I'm like, bro, y'all go through a lot, bro. Like when men go to the hospital, we go get a little cough and put it on our chest and nah, y'all gotta go put your legs in the air. Y'all got it's like, ugh. And it's like, so again, being, transparent, right? When we started the whole
Oh yeah, you did go to that
right,
appointment.
I got checked myself, right, to make sure like my soldiers were marching, right? Because Mike was like, hey, we gonna do all. I was like, all right. And that was the most uncomfortable. So I'm like, did the stuff, semen analysis, all that jazz, blah, blah, blah. Other dude, he was like, oh yeah, I think you good. I was like telling him about, me and my wife trying to conceive. He was like, okay, I can do one more check. I was like, okay, cool. Drop your draw. Huh? What? What? What you say? Yeah, just pull your pants. What? I was like, bruh, I'm talking about Maisha. Dude is like, I'm standing up. Bruh sitting down in those those rolly doctor chairs. Bruh face, like, if this is bruh head is like right here. I'm like, dog, this too much. But it just made me realize, like, bruh, this is like,
This is
if
nothing.
if you can't do this, if your wife asks you to do this for, to make sure everything is good on your end, like all the stuff that she's going through, she's getting touched and poked and everything as well. Like you can do this one. He said, drop your pants. What? What am I? What you say? I was like, bruh, if you don't back up, dog, this man head was right. Back up. Okay, you're too close to my dome. Okay. But yeah, I'm saying a lot here, but yes.
Yeah, so it was just very difficult for us to navigate and like just trying to do the normal marriage things like date nights and like, marriage time
Marriage time, you mean
activities.
sex, Maisha?
Sex.
Yeah, sex
Yes.
was
It was
yeah.
difficult too, but just for me, like I just wanted like Christian wanted me to be okay, but then I also wanted Christian to be okay. And so I remember like if I forget which appointment it was, but I know that it hurt. Maybe it was the one after we were told that the chances were low. And I like our last doctor's appointment, and I knew like you didn't verbally tell me that like you were hurt, but like my intuition knew it. And so I remember like setting it up with two of your line brothers, like,
Oh yeah,
hey,
yeah.
y'all, I need y'all, like brothers, I need y'all to come over. And so the three of us had plotted, and they was like, okay, we gonna get some wings and we gonna get a cake and we just gonna play games. And so he had no idea. They just rung the doorbell, and then he, they came over for him. And so for me, like I'm like, okay, they are a close circle. They knew what was going on, and like I know Christians just trying to make sure that I'm okay. But like I'm like, he needs community, and he's not gonna tell them that he needs like he's not gonna tell them that he just needs brotherhood. Not that they would count on me waiting to exhale, crying or whatever, but like just being in the same space. And so he was very surprised. We got him, they got him a cake, they bought him like a game or something, and I just know like for me like that they did what I felt like I couldn't do, like to just give you that. And I'm sure y'all didn't even talk about the procedure stuff or whatever, but like just being together. So like I know like it was important for me, and I really appreciated them showing up because I needed them to show up for you.
Yeah, and like from a husband perspective too, of like other husbands that may be dealing with the infertility, right, within their wives and within their marriage. Like I think for me at least, I'm gonna say for me, it's the feeling of not being it's the feeling of not being able to, not even not being able, it's the feeling of, I guess, feeling guilty, right? Like when people ask, well, Christian, how are you doing? I'm like, I don't have the right to not be doing well, right? Like it's not okay for me to not be okay because I'm not the one getting poked and prodded. I'm not the one going to the doctor, having to have the surgeries. Like, why should it matter how I feel, right? All I can do is, be a support, be there for my wife because what I'm feeling doesn't really matter right now. And I don't know, like some part of me feel like that's okay, right? Like a part of me feels like our responsibilities as husbands, right? The role that God gave us is a sacrificial role. And in that season, and in this continued season, like I'm all for sacrificing, whether it be, my own mental state for you, right? Because that's what comes with the job, right? Like if you're gonna be a husband, you got to be able to sacrifice sometimes, right? And so yeah, that's what the root of it was for me. Like I just didn't feel like I had any, like you would give me the space if I, but it's like no, like I'm reserving this space. I'm gonna, whatever space I have, right? I'm gonna take the space that's supposed to be for me and move that to the side, move that to the back, and that just gives more space for my wife to feel if she needs to feel it, right? Because again, you're going through all these different things, you're experiencing all these different, like it's a lot. And so yeah, I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to feel nothing because I just feel like me feeling takes away from you, if that makes sense.
But that made me feel like alone, like I'm the only one sad. Like Christian is all hunky dory,
And I
he's
really,
fine.
it wasn't that I wasn't sad. I can't really explain it. Like, I can't really explain it. I think maybe because, again, this just goes back to you, right? Like, I never want you to feel like something's wrong with you. I never want you to feel like you did something wrong or it's your fault that, we don't have, like, no, like when I signed up. When I
It wasn't no list.
when I no, that's not what I was. When I asked you to be my wife, like it's you my wife. Like the vows that we said, thick and thin. We didn't say thick and thin. Whatever the vows are, y'all know the vows are. Sickness and health, like that's what comes with it, and I'm going to accept anything that comes with that. And I never want you to feel like you're not enough for me. I never want you to feel like you're not everything that I prayed for when I prayed for a wife, right? And so that's why I think, feeling sad, I feel like if I'm sad, it makes you feel like something's wrong with you. Like it just kind of, I feel like it would have confirmed the things that you were thinking, which weren't true. Like something's wrong with me. No, nothing's wrong with you. You are exquisitely made by God for me. And whatever comes with that comes with that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Sorry, tangent. You okay over there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry.
But yes, so I appreciate that. Like, and I said this in the other episode, like it really makes the difference to have someone who understand, well, not me, who is there with you to walk alongside you, because not a lot of, some people don't have that. Like they have, some women have spouses who, don't like that they aren't able to have a child, and they leave them or they go and get someone else, pregnant or whatever, because they really, really want to have a child. And so it can be very sad.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's a lot, man. This is a long episode. If y'all still listening, we appreciate y'all for listening, still watching. We gonna just let it ride. Like we gonna just let it be what it be. We want to talk about these things, and
Because we was gone for a minute.
it might be a part 3, Mike. I don't know. We'll see. But no, we've been gone for a while anyway.
Y'all missed us.
All right, let's just go.
Y'all don't want to be in our business anyway.
Again, anybody who's dealing with infertility or loss, you may have experiences as well. So again, you're not alone as you're going through this. And that's another reason why we've been wanting to share our story, because I think it helps other people feel more comfortable sharing their story. But also, like, even just talking right now is very therapeutic to be able to talk through in real time, right? Like just what we're feeling and what things have been going on with us.
So